Hello, and welcome to The Alt Left.
Welcome back, everybody, to The Alt Left, episode 95. It's me, Nick Fuentes, your host, and I'm here with Drew and Kay. Say what's up, boys.
Hey, how y'all are?
Good evening, everyone.
And remember, it is evening.
That's never going to fucking change. You know that, right?
You are technically correct. The best kind of correct.
I mean,
Exactly.
I think the point is it eventually changes. That's how orbits work.
I'm going to keep saying good evening.
Actually, not really orbits. I shouldn't say that.
It's all right,
Okay.
man. Time's a flat circle.
So, let's talk about what's going on this week. We have a nice show ready to talk about Elon Musk, and then Donald Trump fucking trumped it today with his announcement. So if you're hearing this is probably already a few days old, and this is no big news, but to us, it's fucking amazing. Donald Trump is doing his own NFT, and wouldn't you know it, it's literally the worst fucking NFT ever made.
I'm not surprised.
He makes his announcement earlier this week, teasing that he's got a major announcement on Thursday, and of course the pundits are all thinking that, maybe he's going to announce a vice presidential pick, or maybe he's going to, go on a new speaking tour, or actually maybe release some fucking policy propositions as opposed to just bitching about the election again. But no, it's NFTs and loot boxes.
Because he is a master scammer. This has been shown with a lot of his different ventures, like what was it, Trump Meat, or Trump Steaks, and then Trump University. It's just another one of those, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, to be fair for the Trump Steaks, at least, that was just a steak company that wanted to trademark his name, which he was more than happy to sell his name in exchange for a cut of profits.
That's how
So
he
that
makes
one's
his
not
money.
really.
is
Yeah.
just by
Trump
selling his
University,
name.
on the other hand, yeah, that one's all him.
And this is the same thing. I mean, to be fair, these NFTs are legit. They are non-fungible fucking tokens. They are what they say they are. They are just as valid and worthwhile and a smart place to put your money as fucking Bored Ape and any other NFT, which, my God, I'm so glad Bored Ape sucks and they've totally devalued. Makes me so happy.
We talked about that before, and it was laughable to begin with, but that he spent $2 million on an NFT, and it was worth like $11 when he tried selling
Yeah.
it.
Something like that.
Something
But yeah,
stupid, something ridiculous.
And of course he's like so fucking late to the game. Like the NFTs have now the NFT bubble has already popped. No one gives a shit about them. Like the craze is over, and now he's decided to start selling NFTs. Not 6 months ago, not a year ago.
It's not popped for his target audience, which are idiot old people with too much money, or money that they're willing to part with for a piece of the god.
That is very true,
Sure.
because that's the
We'll go
thing,
with
because
that.
that is what he's selling. He's selling phylacteries.
Yeah, more or less.
Yeah, these NFTs are no different than like St. Francis's left toenail that's been holding in the fucking catacombs all these years.
Yeah, and the best part is, not only are they $99 per card, but the card that you get is random. It literally is like buying a booster pack of magic cards or something like that, where you don't really know what you're going to get. So people are going to end up getting duplicates, and there's going to be some people that are going to sink their life savings into getting the full set.
Yep.
You know what the difference is between Magic the Gathering cards and buying these is? When you buy MTG cards, you actually get cards.
Oh yeah, totally.
Again, to be fair, you do get your NFT. Like, that's the beauty of this scam, is he's not even selling something that doesn't exist. Like, no, he's literally going and saying, hey, would you like some hot garbage? Here's how shitty it looks. It's worthless. Would you like it? Like, it's like, I literally don't understand. There's not even a grift here. And if you've seen them, like anybody, seriously, if you haven't seen these yet, go to collecttrumpcards.com and take a look at number one, watch the video. Holy fuck. I mean, this is a Cal Worthington used car salesman video. It's just Donald Trump. And he starts it off saying, hey, it's Donald Trump. And he literally says, the best president ever. I hope your favorite president ever. Better than Lincoln, better than Washington. That's his opening line.
Wait, that's the opening line?
That is the opening line. I'm the best president. I hope I'm your favorite president. Better than Lincoln, better than Washington.
I mean, I didn't honestly know that he could bend that well to fellatiate himself.
Oh, if you see the one where he's golfing, you'll be able to understand how he's able to fellatiate himself.
Holy cow, man!
The Photoshop on these is just awful. I mean, this is like MS Paint. Like, it really is bad. It is literally cut and cropped like MS Paint.
Yeah, like I have seen some artwork of Trump that it is very technically proficient and it is objectively a reasonably well done art. But this isn't even that.
Like, it's not even like, well, I hate Donald Trump and I hate seeing him on top of the tank waving the Trump flag. But it's like, you've all seen that, and it's objectively well done, a well done shop, right? Like, okay, I get it. It sucks. I hate it. But, whatever. It's at least I can look at someone and say, oh, they had some skill when they put this together. These fucking NFTs, I shit you not, they are the worst I've ever seen. It's this comically bad, overdrawn airbrush head of Trump that is just shellacked onto all these photos. My favorite one, actually, is not the superhero one, or even the 3-foot dick one where he's golfing. And yes, there is one where he's golfing a swing and he has a foot-long dick imprint in his pants. That's probably his favorite. But no, there's actually one where he's in a tuxedo and it's like this comically slim figure. And it's just I got no words. Everyone, I cannot describe the carnival of garbage it is. CollectTrumpCards.com. Go check it out. I promise you it's fucking worth it. It's so good. It's so good.
I think my favorite one is probably Astronaut Trump, just because it makes him look like Buzz Lightyear's intern. I told my boss about this morning, and she just couldn't work for a good 15-20 minutes. She was looking at the videos and just staring in disbelief, and then she'd laugh for a good 5 minutes straight just at how ridiculous it is.
Yeah, this is the world we live in. This fucking happened.
But there's also other rewards too, right? So like if you get the one where he's in the fighter,
well, that's the loot
suit,
box.
You could speak directly with Donald Trump on a private Zoom call and ask the questions you've always wanted to ask.
You might even get a lunch with him.
Will they make
you
record
could
a
win
voicemail
one of
for me?
25 incredibly rare gold digital trading cards, NFT, digitally signed by Donald J. Trump. Jesus Christ. Oh, this is fucking
Digitally
hilarious.
signed.
Yeah, well, it's digitally signed, yeah. Not actually signed. That would
digitally
be
signed by Donald Trump's intern.
Digitally signed by the guy who made the NFTs.
Anyway, yes, it's amazing, and everybody just needs to fucking check it out.
It's amazing and
so
horrifying
good.
all at the same time.
I just can't get over it. Yeah, him with the laser eyes in front of Trump Tower is good. Him as the cowboy's good. The astronaut's good. Yeah, there's the one where he's blasting off into space with a jetpack. That's pretty decent, but I'm sorry, like, the two that take the cake are golf with he forgot to take the dildo out of his pocket, and super skinny tuxedo man.
No, those are his very real proportions. He is very svelte. He is in great shape. He is the healthiest president or former president or president whose election was stolen of all time, and you better show some respect. Oh, and on a side note, I'm very offended that you compared him to Cal Worthington. That man was a saint.
Well, maybe you should go see Cal.
Oh, that's fucking awesome.
All right, well, let's move on because I'm literally now just looking at all the awful artwork of Donald Trump, and it's still better than any one of his NFTs. Like, I'm looking at all the awful blowhard paintings of Trump, and they're still. Whew. Anyway, it's almost haunting. So anyway,
it's horrifying, to be honest.
Let's talk about a different grifter. Let's talk about Elon Musk.
Oh, Muskie, I was doing a little bit of research today just on Tesla and the fact that he keeps selling Tesla stock.
Yeah, doesn't he now only own like 11% or something like that?
He currently owns, depending on which outlet, 13.4% or 14.13% is his current percentage, behind GM, or right above GM, who owns between 9 and 10%. So if he sells too much more, he's not going to be the owner of Tesla anymore. He started selling off stock back in December of 2021. He sold off $1.9 billion worth of stock. And then he sold like 3 other times here in December for a 3.6 billion, totaling like $16 billion worth of sales, which is absolutely fucking incredible considering the fact that he only bought in to Tesla for like under $100 million originally, like in the 3 rounds or 4 rounds of financing that they did originally. And that's mostly because the stock value has increased. So his net worth has increased. And he originally owned 20.7% of the stock. So he's literally sold off like 7% of his stake, which is fucking crazy to me.
Yeah, not only that, not only has he sold off 7% of his stock, he's also tanking the stock in the one company that, for better or for worse, I will give him credit, this is the one that he actually cares about. He actually does care about Tesla, or he cares about having his name at the top of it being successful.
Yeah.
I would say that's his flagship company, and he's tanking it over Twitter.
He is. So originally when they announced back in like April is when originally the acceptance of Twitter or the sale of Twitter happened. Stock was at $332. And then in October 28th, the stock was worth $228. That was when he actually purchased it.
Not no more.
Which was a 32% loss from April to October. Today, stock was selling for $157 per share, which is an additional 32% loss between October and today. Fucking Tesla stock is tanking. It's absolutely insane how bad this is for Tesla.
And it's really funny too because its stock is tanking for the same reason it was high. Elon Musk. It's so weird to me that in the age of algorithms running the stock market, that someone like Musk can have that level of control over it. Like the fact, again, his personality and his press was the only reason Tesla stock was so high. Was because so many fucking internet nerds were just like, oh no, he's the greatest man of all time. He's got a dick even bigger than Trump's when he golfs, and it's really weird.
Yeah.
Now that like Elon Musk is fucking sailing, and yes, he sold a bunch of stock, don't get me wrong, but it's not like he sold a bunch of stock and anyone's like, oh, that must mean Tesla's going to tank soon. Everyone knows why. He's covering his fucking losses from the Twitter buy. Like, it's very clear why he's doing what he's doing.
Yeah.
And that really shouldn't affect the market. Any savvy investor like, oh, well, yeah, he's just cashing out because he needs the fucking he needs liquid money. And it makes no sense to me. It's like, nope, stock is fucking tanking because now people don't like Elon Musk. And it's like, I mean, cool. Like, he's a turd. I'm glad everything he touches is turning to poop now. Like, I'm glad he's become the anti-Midas. That's awesome. Like, he fucking sucks, and I hope everything in life makes him sad all the time until he eventually fucking geets himself off the planet. He's a piece of shit who doesn't deserve to live. But it seems weird to me that because he's a tool, Tesla stock would drop. That seems like from a bygone era. That seems like something would have happened in the 70s and 80s, Now in the 2020s?
You'd think that, but wasn't it just earlier this year when you had the Reddit guys who pumped up GameStop stock just because they decided to do so?
Yeah, but that was actual math that did that.
Yeah, and that was because the large hedge fund companies were shorting the stock. That's a very different situation.
Yeah, I understand the concept behind it. It's just, this is effectively the same sort of thing where it's just entirely word of mouth and he just happens to have the biggest megaphone.
Yeah, it's just, again, the idea that someone, because again, with the GameStop thing is that was someone shorting stock and then the GameStop people bought the stock. Like, that was them manipulating numbers. This is literally Elon Musk is unpopular. And so now the stock is worth less. Like, that's weird.
That's exactly right.
And again, I'm happy about it. It just blows me away that can still happen.
Yeah, the funny thing about this is that,
I mean, now's the time to buy some fucking Tesla stock.
Well, it is. But the stock market on the whole right now is on the rise. We're seeing a gradual increase from over the summer where it was down. That's the real surprising part to me is you're right. Tesla stock is tanking. Twitter stock is tanking. Like, it doesn't surprise me, but that's where the money has come from because of Elon
Yeah.
Musk looking for money because he needs to cover losses. Just the interest on the loans that he took out to be able to purchase Twitter is $1 billion a year. And he's currently hemorrhaging money all over the place because he can't continue to turn a profit at Twitter. That's why he had all the layoffs. That's why he's tried to sell the blue check mark. That's the reason why he's made a lot of decisions, is because he's faced with this problem of, fuck, I basically got forced to buy Twitter, overvalued by double, essentially. And then now he's faced with having to pay back these massive loans that he doesn't have the money for, and Twitter will not have the money for, because he personally guaranteed these loans. It's not like he put anything up for them. It's basically his own personal guarantee against the worth, his own worth for these loans.
Yeah. And the thing is, again, Twitter tanking makes sense. It really does.
Yeah.
His unhinged idiocy totally makes sense. The Tesla one is the weird one. And yeah, like, I also love that, like, Elon Musk is figuring out that, like, everything he dismantled was a necessary part of Twitter. He's like, I'm going to fire everybody. Oh, we don't have enough people. Work more hours. I'm bringing beds in. I'm going to make you sleep on the floor. Work harder hours because I actually need the hours worked. You know? And,
Yeah.
oh, I'm just going to give a fucking blue check mark to everyone so I can fucking make Twitter generate revenue. Oh, that went out of hand and everyone had parody accounts. Well, now I'm going to make a different series of check marks for people who are actually verified. It's like, the second you make a gold check mark, who the fuck's going to want to pay for the blue one? Like,
nobody. Why would you?
He's just brought back the verification system that he claimed he hated and wanted destroyed.
Yeah.
And most of it seems to be entirely just based on his whim or how he's feeling that day, or whether or not he gets booed at a comedy show over the weekend.
It's almost like he's an unhinged child.
Well, when you make fucking ridiculous statements just left and right, out of hand, what do you
that's how he's
expect?
always been too. I mean, God, do you guys remember the diver who rescued the kids in, where was it? Was Singapore? Was it the Philippines?
I don't remember where it was, but I do remember that, where
I think it was the Philippines. Yeah, the
brought
kids
out,
got stuck in the cave.
was like 15 or 24 people or some shit like that.
Something like that. But yeah, so anyway, they had to rescue the kids, and Elon Musk had said, like, Tesla's going to help. We're going to give a submarine. And I guess the guy who rescued the kids is like, yeah, the submarine was garbage and Tesla didn't do shit to help us. And that's like all he said in an offhand comment. And Elon Musk then literally went on Twitter, called him a pedophile, all this shit. And then the guy sued him. Somehow Elon won the lawsuit. I don't know fucking how. I mean, money. But like, he actually beat the lawsuit some fucking how. But had to spend like millions in legal fees and all kinds of shit to do it. But that's what he is. He's just an unhinged piece of shit. Like, if you say Tesla sucks, you get blocked and banned on Twitter. Like, he's a fucking child. He really is just a 10-year-old with a pile of money. That's all he is. And it blows me away that anybody ever thought he was smart. Like, and I just don't get it, because so many, before we could see 5 years ago, 6 years ago, I didn't know Elon Musk was this much of a piece of shit. Yeah. I knew he was a fucking billionaire. He had nothing to do with anything, so I didn't respect him, and I thought he sucked. And everyone's like, no, he's like so smart. I'm like, but doing what? Like, he bought into Tesla, he bought into SpaceX. He doesn't build rockets. He's just some fucking investor. Like, how does that make him smart? And then I saw interviews with him and like saw him get high on Joe Rogan. It was just like, this doesn't speak of any intelligence whatsoever. This guy's just a tool. He's just a self-inflated tool. No wonder he loves Trump. They're two of the same. And I just never understood he's Tony Stark, he's so smart, he's going to solve the world's problems. Like, I literally never got that argument. Like, I don't understand how he did it too, because it's not like he had an amazing PR firm behind him. He literally just hopped on Twitter and said, I'm smart.
I think because of his involvement with Twitter, because I was reading a little bit about that, the two original investors, designers of the Tesla name, they brought him on as an investor. He put in like $5.6 billion or $1 million of the 7.7 million that they originally got. And then he was the one who like brought on other people and organized subsequent investments totaling like $700 million before they had delivered more than 200 cars. And then all of a sudden he was like the fucking god because he had gotten all these people and these new cars that were coming out, and he just garnered this image of being this like tech genius, even though he really had nothing to do with the technical aspect of Tesla. And then he basically ousted the two other guys. They were gone, and he claimed all the glory for himself as if he had started Tesla.
Yeah.
So I think that that's where it comes from, is just this idea that he like started this company and made it what it was, and like he's the genius behind it, when he's the one who really bought into it and just organized other investors so that they could make a product.
Yeah, it was right place, right time, and honestly, he
Yeah.
just kind of lucked out, and he's been riding on that ever since.
Yeah, I guess so. But it's okay. Now he's brought bunk beds into Twitter.
Yeah, the corporate offices.
Yeah, it actually, again, I think it just goes to the incel dipshit fanboyness of the people who are left at Twitter must believe in, because I just don't get how anybody stayed at Twitter. Like, he literally said, like, be ready to work twice as hard for no extra money, and I'm going to be a bitch to you all the time. And if you
Yeah,
don't
pretty
say
much.
yes, you're fired. Like, he was before that, he was literally firing people via meme. He was sending employees emails with like a picture of his face laughing, saying you're fired. That's how
Yeah.
he was firing people.
And there were several different ones of them.
Yeah.
And, well, I mean, sure, he's got beds, and apparently, by all accounts, the rooms are, quite lovely, according to mainstream media and paid sources. But there isn't going to be anybody to clean them, because he promptly fired his janitors on the service and locked them out because they were union. They were unionized. They're currently on strike outside of his office because of that.
Yep.
So they're still on strike. That's amazing.
Yeah, they're still on strike.
And since he took over, Twitter hasn't paid rent on their building, just so you know.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
He's not paid rent on any of the locations that they lease, and several of the owners of the buildings have said that they're planning to just evict them from the offices. Because,
What will happen with that kind of stuff when it comes to a corporate eviction is essentially the bank and a sheriff and the landlord show up, and they with a locksmith, and they literally just change the locks overnight. Whoever's inside, as they leave, they just don't get let back in. They can't stop anybody from leaving, but they can sure as fuck keep people out, because it's not a residence. There's no there's no protection, like as if you're a
there's no squatters'
person
rights.
renting an apartment, because there's lots and lots of protections for people that own apartments or townhomes or whatever you're renting. There's lots of protections for you there. But as far as like corporate and with this kind of thing, those same rules do not apply.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And they're going to take everything and then, probably auction it off. And won't that be fun?
But yeah, they haven't paid rent. Also, there's a whole bunch of outstanding debts for travel expenses he still hasn't paid out on. Basically, because a lot of companies, you do what's called like net 30, net 60. And what that is you establish an account. They will bill you, and okay, whatever we accrue, this is you actually see this a lot on large accounts that either ship a lot of things, like whatever your company is. I retail Drew's sprockets, and so I buy sprockets from Drew, and every 30 days he sends me a bill for what I have acquired in that 30 days, and I pay it 30 days later. Or it can be like a net 60, even a net 90. I used to work for transportation companies, and they would do that with fuel. Is all the commercial vehicles would be fueling at these gas stations, and it was just net 30. You didn't pay it right then and there at every charge. Every 30-day cycle, they sent you a bill for everything you owed them, and you paid it then, kind of like a credit card.
Yeah, company cuts a check.
Yeah, so Twitter had those deals with transportation companies, like airline tickets and fucking hotels and stuff. And of course, they were still in their billing period when Musk took over. And of course, he took over, and within days, everything went to shit. I don't believe that he wouldn't have paid them originally. If everything had gone great, he would have been business as normal. But because he fucked everything up and he needs money, he's like, oh, those didn't exist when I owned the company, so I'm not going to pay them. And so he's been completely reneging on all those contracts and all those travel expenses, which again, we'll go to court and we'll trash the credit rating. And it makes no sense, the shit he does And this is why I can't buy into the argument that he's intelligent, because he acts like a child at every opportunity. He knee-jerk reacts to everything. He makes plans and reactions to things. He makes corporate decisions about billing and money that make no sense. And clearly, if anybody, even a dumb person, had sat for 5 minutes or had someone intelligent near them to tell them when they're doing a stupid move, which is what I would fucking do. Like, if I was going to go and do something like buy Twitter, do a thing where I didn't actually know what the fuck I was doing, the first thing I would do is hire several advisors to run all my decisions by me. So I was like, hey, I'm going to do this thing. Tell me if that's stupid. No, it's a good idea. Okay, great. No, that could really fuck you in the ass later, because here's why. Oh, I shouldn't do that. Like, but he won't do that. He wants to just walk in and wave a magic wand and be the fucking hero because he's a special little boy. And again, he is... You know what? I don't know why I haven't made this connection earlier. Elon Musk is the libertarian argument. He really is. Think of any libertarian you know, and they act just like Elon Musk. It's like, well, I am so special and I'm so perfect. And if it wasn't for all these Jews and black people and queers, I would be ahead of the world, you know? And that's what Elon Musk is. He just, well, I'm just so fucking special and white and amazing that obviously if I touch it, it will be good.
The stupid thing about that thought process is he's literally like the third richest person in on the planet because of Tesla. It just boggles my fucking mind that, like, all of a sudden, before he was able to kind of finagle his way into these decisions and to raise some money, and he got lucky, and then all of a sudden now he's starting to make really stupid decisions. And I think the difference is that these are based purely on emotion, and he's not thinking, because I don't think he's fucking stupid. I don't think he's dumb by any means. I don't think he's super intelligent either. I think he's been really lucky, but I just get that feeling that all of the decisions that he's been making have all been based purely on emotion. Anybody that has two brain cells to rub together knows that if you make decisions based purely on emotion, you're probably going to make a bad decision when it comes to business.
Yeah, and it's okay for him to make the occasional bad decision if you're in business. That sort of thing is inevitable, but he's doing it so publicly and he keeps backing himself into a corner that
Yeah.
I think we're going to see more and more of a meltdown as his bad decisions keep piling up. Like, if he just did this shit in private, nobody would know about it and everybody would still think he's a genius. But
Yeah.
we're seeing the evidence on full display that that is definitely not the case.
Well, and again, and sometimes it's it literally his, if they're not just on a base like knee-jerk reaction, they're because he's just trying to aggrandize, because that's what the Twitter buy was. He didn't actually want to buy Twitter. He just wanted people to think he was going to buy Twitter. And then when he didn't, it was like, oh, there's so many bots and they lied. And I think he was just thinking like, well, and that will save me. I'll be able to back out of the deal, and I can say like, oh, I was gonna, but Twitter's so shitty. You know, these fucking woke leftists with hating on Donald Trump and Kanye. You know, they had to put me out too, guys. Like, we're all the same. We wash the same hoods. Like, it's just, this is bullshit. It's, you know, it's just the Jew media. Like, that's the kind of shit he was clearly dog whistling for, right? And he did it just to make people talk about him, and then he wanted out because he didn't want to actually spend $44 billion fucking dollars buying Twitter.
And it was originally $54 billion.
Yeah. My favorite is people are like, well, Twitter's not actually worth anything. Well, clearly it's apparently worth 44 bill, baby. Because that's what they fucking got for it. And then, of course, the courts fucking forced him to go through with the purchase. And then he had to do something, because then he couldn't just buy it and leave it alone, because it was already a successful business model, which would have been the smart thing to do. But he had already talked about how, like, this would be so good if only I could change everything. And then it goes in and changes everything. And of course, it becomes the shithole that everything he touches turns into. And I love it. I love it. And it just goes to show that he clearly never has any control over what happens at Tesla. He's just a face.
Look, all of the missteps and everything that's happening now is well worth it, because he is the defender of free speech, completely and utterly. There is nothing you can say on Twitter that'll get you banned, unless you're a leftist or literally a Nazi, or you post information of a flight.
Or say anything bad about Tesla. Someone in our Discord, Phoenix Tiberius, pointed out that apparently they're in the process of suspending the accounts of several journalists. So I don't know what the actual legitimacy of that is. It sounds exactly like an Elon move. And again, by the time this podcast comes out, I'm sure we'll already know all the details. But silencing journalistic dissent sounds exactly like what Musk would do.
It does. Considering that he fired everybody and then tried to hire a bunch of people back when he realized that he couldn't run the company and all of the other bad decisions that he's been making. So it would not surprise me that all of a sudden now he's trying to silence people on his platform however he sees fit.
Let's see. I've just brought up the article now. Everybody that he has suspended are journalists with who cover the tech industry. So someone from CNN, New York Times, Washington Post, and a few others.
I can't say that I'm surprised.
I'm not shocked at all. You know what my favorite thing about Elon lately is the booing at the Chappelle show. And here's why. It's not because Elon got booed, which makes me happy. And it's not that it made Elon really sad and unhinged, which makes me happy. The thing I love the most about that is that it was at a Chappelle show. Like, to go and hang out and pay money to go see Dave Chappelle, you're already probably a total fucking tool, right? Like, if you're a Dave Chappelle defender, you probably suck. And I imagine that Venn diagram of people who like Chappelle and people who like Musk would have been a perfect circle. And apparently not. Apparently, even the scum who still like Dave Chappelle think Elon Musk sucks.
Well, I think that there's two kinds of people that still like Dave Chappelle. I think there's the people that just don't care, one way or the other. And then I think there are the assholes that agree with him and his bigoted views of the world. So
of course, to be fair, all Dave Chappelle ruined was Dave Chappelle, whereas Elon Musk ruined Twitter.
Yeah, exactly.
So in that way, Musk is actually doing a whole lot better. He's doing some good for the world.
Fair enough. Is that what we're going to call it, boys? I have nothing else.
No, I mean, that's pretty much all I got. We got probably, 35 or so minutes
probably a little half an hour. This will be a short episode. I'll make a closing about that. But I didn't know if we wanted to cover something else.
I don't have anything else.
No, I think we're good. And honestly, I
did my little bit of research.
Having shorter, tighter episodes might be better anyway.
Yeah, short episode. At first, I actually disagreed. When we very first started the podcast, like, no, fucking hour and a half. Let's make them bomb. And I still agree with. I don't want to go for a time frame. I think we should go with what's good. But it really seems like, in all honesty, most of our podcasts now are about 45 to 55 minutes, and that is much better than the 75-minute ones.
Yeah, I'm okay with the 35 to 45.
Yeah, I think it should be as long as it's good. Like, if we're doing a deep dive, I definitely want to go as long as we can. But for this one, this is going to be a 30-minute episode. That's really all it needs to be.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying is, I'm totally cool with it being more succinct than trying to put in extra time for the sake of putting in extra time.
Yeah, that was my biggest criticism when I was listening to the show. It's just you guys could cut out a good 10 or 15 minutes and it would be a whole lot tighter and a little bit better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Now next question.
Yeah, I agree. Let's just go. We should go as long as we need to.
Yeah, but I agree. It seems to be, I think Matt brought a lot of fluff that didn't always need to be here too sometimes.
A fair amount. Yeah. I think
we're getting, Matt was really about all doing the, we got to do contests. So we got to do this. And it's and I got to mention every single social media we ever got. And I was and I think that also dragged us on a bit.
I agree with that.
Are we taking next week off?
More than likely,
because I think we should.
Thursday being Thursday is going to be the day before I do most of my deliveries, so there's a good chance I won't even be inside till 7 or later.
Next 2 weeks, I will be unavailable.
Okay.
Next week, Thursday night is the 22nd. I fly out 5 a.m. on Friday, so I'm not available. I also have my company party that day. It's just not going to work. And the next week is the week in between. And I'm just not available.
Yeah, and the 23rd, I'm going to Vegas and back. I'm going to be I'm working on the 22nd. It's my last day here. So, yeah, let's skip next week and then just come back for the 29th.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
won't be
that's-
available.
Okay.
So if
Well,
you
yeah,
guys
you're going to
wanna
be gone the
record-
whole week, so we might have
Yeah.
to record something without you then, because I don't want to go 2 weeks.
Yeah,
without
that's
an
fine.
episode.
Feel free to record something without me.
All right. Drew and I will just read The Nightmare Before Christmas.
All right.
All
sounds
right,
good.
so let's wrap it up. So that's going to be about it for us tonight. And also, we won't be having an episode next week because that recording is going to fall right on around Christmas time. So we will not be here. So unfortunately, right after Christmas, you won't have an episode from us, but I think you'll find a way to survive. But we will be back right after that. You will not go New Year's without us. And thank you for tuning in. Thanks for being here on season 2 of the cast. We love you. We love having you here. We love being here. From Drew, Kay, and I, happy holidays. Please be safe. Christmas, Hanukkah, and New Year's or Krampus Day, whatever you're celebrating. And have a great one, everyone. And remember, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and remember that the revolution is you.